All right, guys, this is Crazy Kevin here, and I'm here with Michael Billups. Michael, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. So, Michael, it's been a little bit since we've seen you in the cage. Talk to us a little bit about your last performance and what you've been up to.
So my last time I fought was in Tampa, Florida. I fought for CFFC. Um, kind of, I thought I did. Honestly, I thought I did enough to win the fight. I thought I did all right, but the judges had other ideas. Whatever, shrug it off. But I mean, really, nothing's changed. Still just training and staying ready as usual. Um, been heavy on jiu-jitsu lately, so that's been fun. But other than that, not too much has changed. Just waiting for the next opportunity.
I love it. I love it. Now, you mentioned you're heavier on the jiu-jitsu. Who you training with that's helping you out with your jiu-jitsu game?
So I train at a place called Brothers Jiu-Jitsu in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and it's honestly it's like there. It's really just like a dungeon, man. A dungeon filled with a bunch of dogs. Like Kyle Driscoll's in there with me, helping me out, and Hunter Colvin, Jams Partridge. Shout out to all the boys. Just there's just a bunch of dudes in there that have just been helping me out for the last couple of years, and it's like they have a lot of like I don't even know. They have a lot of really good training habits, and so it's been cool to like kind of like piggyback off each other in just like terms of like I can help with wrestling, so they're gonna help me with my submissions. And Hunter's got crazy back control, so he's been helping me out, and I'm just excited to put it all to use.
Yeah, 100%, and we're looking forward to it. And with that being said, your last fight was a split decision, and you just mentioned, you thought you had enough to win that fight. Do you think do you wish in the future that maybe the judges could maybe watch the fight maybe in the back, so then maybe like the crowd is an influence in the fights? And sometimes in the back, I personally think it's a little bit easier to watch the fights on TV versus in live. Do you also agree with that as well?
Honestly, yeah, because like a lot of people like fans just want to see something happen. So even if you don't like, I've seen it in fights where like even if something wasn't even landed like that, that the crowd goes crazy, and so the judges are like, oh well, I mean, I guess it must have done something. So it's like, nah, I feel like they should. If we could put them in a soundproof room, that would be better. But yeah, I think that would overall, I think that would change the outcome of a couple of different fights. Like especially if they think it's as close as what they say, because like even in my last fight, I almost finished the guy, and it was like, and somehow he ended up getting the win on a split decision. And I mean, not to take away from him or whatever, like that wasn't even one of my best performances, if I'm being totally honest. But like, still, he's the hometown hero. The crowd is like, they want him to win and everything. So that being said, yeah, I think that would probably make a difference in certain fights and everything.
100%. Now, with you fighting in CFFC, do you believe your next fight is also going to be in CFFC, or do you believe it's going to be somewhere else? What's next for you?
Ooh, so I'll be honest, like I'm kind of like a free agent right now, so I do feel kind of like the pretty girl though. Everyone's fighting over me. It's like, guys, stop. But nah, yeah, like I said, it might be for CFFC. It could be for LFA. We've had a couple of fights on the table, so really it's just whoever presents the best opportunities. That's where we're gonna go, and just bring the hybrid show with us. So.
I love it. I love it. Now, you were just fighting in CFFC. What was the experience like? What was it like fighting under there? And do you think it gets you ready for like these bigger promotions in the future?
Oh, 100%. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like their production is like it's great, off the charts. Like whenever people ask me, like they're like, "Oh, well, you're not in the UFC yet. Oh, you're not in like Bellator yet, or anything like that." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, but this is kind of like if I had to like break it down, this is like the G League of the UFC. So like like you guys are in the UFC, I'm in the Summer League right now. So just give me a second, I'm gonna be in there, and I think that it definitely gets you prepared. Just not even just on the production and like the eyes, all the eyes that you want to see it or want to be, looking at you and everything, but as well as competition. Like there's definitely some salty dudes in my division, and it feels fun because I just want to prove I'm the saltiest. So.
I love it. No, that's a good way to put it. I never really thought of the G League like that. That's a good way to say it. Now, another thing about you that's pretty interesting. Not only have you got a couple wins in MMA, you also got a couple wins in kickboxing. Talk to us a little bit about those kickboxing bouts.
I'm not gonna lie, none of those were like planned. Each kickboxing fight was basically like, all right, I've been in the camp for an MMA fight for this long, and they were like, okay, the fight fell through, but we got this other guy that wants to kickbox you, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, sure, why not? And I mean, we would go out there and do our thing, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like most of them like ended up being a really good night for us. So I was like, okay, I guess you could call me a kickboxer, but that's not like that was never really like my goal or anything like that.
That's funny. That's kind of interesting because there's another fight on there. If you look at your Tapology, you got a win against this guy named Lorenzo Carter, and it says the fight's under custom rules. Do you know anything about like what that could mean? Why does it say custom rules?
So custom rules I've done one other fight like that, and it's funny because like they called it like a hybrid fight, and I was like, oh, I'm the hybrid, might as well. But the first two rounds were kickboxing rounds, and then the next two rounds were MMA rounds. And the first time I did it, we didn't even like the first time I did a fight like that, we didn't even make it out of like the first round. Like I knocked the guy out with like a back thrust to the gut, and then the last time I did that with Lorenzo Carter, it was kind of the same thing. Like it was supposed to be an MMA fight, and then no one wanted to take the MMA fight, so it was like, well, we'll do this, and it was like, I didn't know that was an option, but I'm down for whatever, so we could do that. And then I ended up winning, and honestly, but I won't lie, Lorenzo was a cool dude though, so shout out to Lorenzo, man. But yeah, it was like a mixed rule set, and it was fun. It was fun. It was kind of like ONE FC without being overseas, so that was cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what it reminded me of. That's pretty interesting. So, and you mentioned that custom rules fight that wasn't planned. You didn't have to train, or like you weren't planning for that fight going into it, training wise.
Not really. There's only been one time where I actually trained for kickboxing, and that was I did a tournament, and that was fun. The winner got big money, so I was like, yeah, no, I'll do that. But as far as like me taking kickboxing fights and stuff like that, like I always train MMA, so it's like I would like to think that I'm just an MMA fighter, but depending on the opportunity, I mean, and how much money there is, I'll be pretty much whatever.
No, yeah, I definitely hear you there. Now, one thing that I always think is interesting is a lot of fighters that are like first coming up on like amateur scene and maybe even like the pro scene, kind of like where you're at. A lot of fighters say it's hard to find fights. Do you sort of also have that same issue as well too?
I have before. No one has had that issue more than my teammate though. This dude, like, shout out to Jim the Juggernaut Natividad, little monster. But he there was one time where in a span of like I want to say like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, like 10 fights got canceled. And what people don't realize about that kind of stuff is like the whole time you have to keep training. Like you have to keep training. Like the next opportunity is going to pop up tomorrow. So he was in a camp for damn near 2 years, and like, so yeah, I would say at around this level and stuff, especially if you have a couple of dominant showings, it definitely is harder to find fights. Like, or you'll run in, or they'll like throw a journeyman at you real quick, so it might be a little tougher because he's been around, but like skill wise, you're better than he is. So like that kind of thing happens a lot around this level, I would say.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Now, one thing as well too, with you coming up on the pro scene, you're obviously you're training full time. You're also working as well too. What is your schedule like on a daily basis, and how hard is it to juggle the work life as well as the training life?
It is an art for sure. I like work like six. I'm a personal trainer, so I work like 6 to 1 throughout the week, and then after that I'll head to the gym like I am right now. I'll head to the gym, and then after that I'll go home, take a little nap, get some food, and then I'll have jiu-jitsu at 6, and then I'll have my MMA training at like 8 right after that. So I'm getting home at like 10, like 10:30, and then I wake up and do it all again. And then on weekends I'm a bartender, so yeah, nah, it's literally nonstop.
Yeah,
The
sounds
whole
like
way
it.
through.
Jeez, yeah, you're always on the grind. No, I like it. I like it. Now, with you coming up on the pro scene as well too, what is maybe something some fans might not know about you?
Uh, I actually started doing stand-up comedy not too long ago, so that's been cool. A couple of friends that I have, they do comedy now, and they've been blowing up recently. But they were like, "Yeah, you should try it out." You know, we were class clowns in high school and stuff. So let's see what you got. I did my first show, and honestly, it actually went pretty well. So I was like, "Damn, I might actually start doing this." So I started writing a little more, and it's been fun. It's been fun, man.
That's definitely pretty interesting. So, like, how long does it take you to like come up with your routines that you're planning?
Uh, Not too long. Although I'm not gonna lie, right now where I'm at in it, like I would say it's like 60% written, 40% improv. Cause like I don't know, it's like a really vulnerable thing being up there. Cause like it's almost more vulnerable than fighting. Cause like in fighting, if he doesn't do what I want him to do, I can just hit him. But like for comedy, it's like, man, if you guys don't laugh, like I just have to kind of take that. Like it's pretty cool though. It's been fun.
That's awesome. No, that's really, really cool. And that's something you just do by yourself. You're just up there on stage by yourself, and you got a bunch of people watching you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So being alone and having a bunch of people watch you is nothing new, but making them feel a different emotion rather than pain is that's new to me. But it's fun. It's been really cool. I've met a couple of people that I otherwise probably wouldn't have ran into, and honestly, as I'm finding out, there's a lot of people that like low key where comedy and MMA kind of coincide. So it's like, dang, that's wild. You know who? What? Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, no, that's definitely pretty cool. Now, who's some of your favorite comedians?
Some of my favorite comedians, man, top of the line, Dave Chappelle for sure. Martin Lawrence is slept on. Who's another really good one? I like Mark Norman. That dude is hilarious, man. That dude's funny. But yeah, no, those are my. Oh, Shane Gillis. I don't care what anyone says. Shane Gillis is freaking hilarious. But yeah, no, those are probably like my top four.
I love it. No, that's definitely awesome. That's definitely a solid list. And you mentioned earlier that you were training a little bit or training a lot in BJJ. Who do you think in the gym is the best striker that you've trained with so far?
The best striker I train with. Um, like training with on the daily.
Anybody, I guess. Yeah.
I used to train with this one dude named Randy Blake, and he was like light heavyweight, so I mean there's a huge size difference there. But like honestly, a lot of people like I feel like more people should know about Randy Blake because like his striking was like it was on point, like, and it was karate based because like that was one of my bases. And so whenever I was younger and I was watching him, he was one of my first instructors and everything. He like won multiple kickboxing world titles. But like when I was watching him as a kid, I was like, okay, so like you can still use karate in a real fight. Like, we can still make this work. And so it was cool. He was just a kickboxer though. He didn't do MMA, but like but it was cool just like watching him. And then whenever I got to train with him, that was the only time I've ever been knocked out in practice. And like it was definitely a learning curve. They were trying to get me to hit harder, and I finally decided to throw a heavy leg kick. Threw a heavy leg kick, and I like turned my coach, and I'm like, "Did you see that?" And as soon as I turned back, his foot was meeting me in the face, and I was like,
Oh.
"Okay, I see what's going on here." But but yeah, no, I think he was probably one of the best strikers I've got the chance to train with.
That's awesome. Now, how do you think that karate background has helped you as a fighter?
I think that karate taught me how to be in and out of places I think it taught me patience. I think it taught me, well, one, it gave me a solid base as far as stand up goes. And yeah, I think it just like kind of taught me, like, it gave me a little bit of discipline whenever I first started, and like direction. 'Cause I didn't really know how to go about being like a fighter or what I wanted to do. And then like I found martial arts through karate, and I was like, okay, I'm actually pretty good at this. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I definitely agree with you there. And one thing I always like to ask every fighter that comes on the show is I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been training for 20 years now, and I've been teaching for 6 years, and I just love what I do. With all the guys I have in my gym, what advice would you give to those guys that are coming into the gym to keep getting better and better every single day?
I would say don't rush the process. Literally, like, just try your best to get 1% better every day. Like, you're not going to get it all in one day. And that was something that I had to learn myself, was like, dude, like, if you just get 1% better every day, like, eventually you're going to hit 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, just take it one step at a time. Because there's so many things to learn in this sport that we have, and everything's always changing. So yeah, literally just be like an empty cup and take it one day at a time. You can
100%.
learn a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. No, it's definitely a good message. And speaking of messages, Michael, last message out there for the fans that are going to be watching this video.
Oh, you guys stay tuned. I got some good stuff in the works, and I mean, you know me, I like to have fun, but I never stop working. So yeah, keep an eye out, because like I said last time, I started local. I wasn't going to be local for long, so keep your eyes out for me. I got some stuff coming your life.
Yeah, man, we're looking forward to we're seeing what's next and who's signing you for that next fight. And Michael, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it, and enjoy training.
Dude, thanks for having me, Kevin. I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. And again, thank you so much for taking the time every day doing it. I appreciate it.